What's good, Saiyan Nation? It's the leader of the new Saiyan generation, Prince Arctic here. And today, as y'all seen in the title, we are going to be doing some strategies on Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Strikers. And today we're going to be doing base battle. It has come to my attention and come to my annoyance that a lot of people don't know how to play certain games on here. So the most important game that I have seen that some people who just don't know how to play this game, which it is a MOBA, just for some people who don't know, MOBA is a multiplayer online battle arena, and this is qualified as a MOBA. There's always strategical ways and strategical things that you can do inside of a MOBA, okay? So with that being said, I have a couple strats here I want to show you guys, just in case you didn't know, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to get right into it. So with that being said, before we start, if you are new here, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, just to show your Saiyan pride, you know what I'm saying? And with that being said, let's watch the vid, man! Okay guys, so today we're going to be discussing the game mode base battle. Alright, now base battle is basically your capture the bases, hold them until you've reached the highest on the bar. Virtually getting the most out of the bar, you will actually, win the game. But in this game, there is such thing as OT, overtime, you know what I'm saying? So getting that bar just real close to your opponent just before you're about to lose, or vice versa, it can go into overtime to set up drive. With that being said, getting straight into the strats, I want to start out with the most common strategy technique that has been used that I've seen. And I want to make another quick note. You don't have to really communicate with your team on this game mode. Just by doing some quick calculations on who's your teammates around you and whose enemies, how many enemies are around you and how many teammates you have around you. So I want to just go ahead and give you guys that. All right. Now the first strategy I like to call is the 2v1 strategy, where basically you have, for example, say your team has captured base A and your opponents have base B and base C. You are on base A, all right? You're on base A and you have two opponents on you. That means there's two other scenarios that can happen. That means if you're on base A and two enemies are on base A with you, then that means you can have one enemy on base B and another one on base C, or two enemies on one base, meaning your teammates have more of a numbers win on that. You can have one enemy on base B, two teammates on base B, and one on base C. That means your teammates needs to be able to go ahead and capture that C base at the least, because you have more action at base B. All right, which means all you have to do is, since you're at base A holding off two people, you don't have to do anything because you already captured base A. Okay, that just means you have to hold off long enough for them to capture base C. That way, if you can hold off, you can go ahead and switch over to base B, protect base B. That way you have base C and base B and base C. Some people don't realize that. You don't really have to, you know what I'm saying, notice that, you know what I'm saying? So even if you're on base A, your teammates should know about what scenarios can happen. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be those two scenarios that happen. All right. Another strategy I like to call is the 2-1-1 strat. All right. And this strat is probably commonly used as well. Basically, it's two teammates on one base, one and one on the other. So 2 on A, one on B, one on C. Now, this is a little bit harder, but it's still commonly used. The two people who are controlling the base, they're controlling those bases that are heavily active. Basically meaning a lot of opponents are on that base. So 9 times out of 10, you'll have a 2v2, maybe a 2v3 situation. But those bases are purely for them to hold off on. So in the sense of, when you're thinking about it, you need to have the high number on the high number. That way the other teammates can actually capture the other bases. So if you're on the heavy side, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a 2v3 situation, especially when you see your opponents rushing to try to capture this base, because maybe you're already ahead, so now they need to capture this base. It's probably the closest. So say you spawn on this current side on the left. Their initial base is going to be base C. So 9 times out of 10, they're going to try to initiate base C because they respawn on the right side. So 9 times out of 10, you'll be at base C, which that side needs to have the upper hand of opponents. So basically, you need to have 2 teammates on base C, 1 on base B, 1 on base A. Basically, you know what I'm saying, you just holding off your opponents so you guys can capture those 2 bases. Then you can have base B move over to base C to even it out, and then you can have the last opponent stand in between A and B. That way, just in case they branch off to another base, that teammate can go ahead and switch over and go ahead and stop that from happening, regardless if they are alive or not, regardless how many people they put over there. As long as they can stop them from moving over, then your team is good. That way your team can either respawn back and go to that base, or just mosey on down over to that base. All right. So those are one of the 2 major strats that I have seen for base battles. I guess there's one more strat that we can talk about. This is probably the least commonly effective. Won't say used, but it's the least commonly effective in this game mode. 3-team squads. Basically, what this one is what it sounds like. You have 3 teammates going through the whole entire map capturing bases. Like I said, if you're on the left side, the closest base to you is A. So what you're going to do is you'll have 3 teammates trying to capture A, and they mosey on down to just capture, while the other one, either A protects the bases that you just captured, or they go off on their own and they capture bases on themselves. Now, this can be effective, don't get me wrong, it can definitely be effective if the your opponents are being overwhelmed by just 3, and they may be running a different strategy, such as the 2-1-1 strat. So that can be overwhelming. So if you do see your opponents just running like a single man, and you see it all the time, that could be a quick way you guys can switch up, 3-1 strat, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, virtually, man, all you guys got to do is, on that strat is to, the 3-man team has to be moving constantly. Obviously, when you have more teammates on a base, the faster capturing the base is. So this would be a very speedy strategy. So you guys got to be really efficient. Those are the 3 strategies that I think you guys should look into. It's really not hard to adjust to see what your team is trying to do or what your team actually needs, just by knowing where your opponents are at. So this 3-1 strat is not really necessarily, you need to know where your opponents are at. It's basically hit a base, hit a base, hit a base. You know what I mean? The other 2 are heavily known on where your opponent and your team is at. But for the most part, for those first 2, you can predict where your teammates are at just by knowing how many opponents you have. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this strategy video. If you guys enjoyed it and it helps you out any, make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe if you like to, be a part of the Say Nation. We out here on knowledge. We out here for having fun. We known for all that. You know what I'm saying? We known for all that. So with that being said, to all my loyal Saiyans, new Saiyans, and people thinking to become new Saiyans, I need you guys to stay strong. Don't forget your strats. Stay proud. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to show your Saiyan pride. And with that being said, stay proud.